Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a DIY Dollar Tree macrame feather or leaf, depending on how you want to cut it. We're going to use lots of supplies like some cotton twine from the Dollar Tree and a pair of scissors, as well as a fine tooth comb. You can get 12 packs of combs at the Dollar Tree as long as you pick one that has the fine teeth like these ones here. I know that's a lot of supplies. Pause this video and write it down. No, I'm just kidding. So this is the second video in our Thursday throwback comeback, which basically I'm taking an old DIY and I'm updating it for today's day and age. Last week we did a macrame wreath, and today we're going to do another macrame project. It wasn't really a macrame wreath, it was a braided wreath, but the first thing you want to do is you want to take a string that is twice as long as you want your leaf to be, plus about 4 inches. You want to fold it in half, and I like to tape it, the loop side down to the table. That's how I like to work. I like to work with the loop side taped to the table and the free end between me and the table, but I'll show you that in a second. So the one we're going to do is you're going to cut a lot of string, depending on how many. I think I have about 36 here. Depending on how long you want your leaf to be, it will depend on how many strings. But you can always start with a few, and then if you need more to make it longer, you can cut more. But these strings are twice or just about a little bit longer than you want your feather to be wide. Okay? So as you can see here, I pull the loose end and I scooch in real close to the table and I pinch it between me and the table. Now you're going to take 2 strings for each length and you're going to fold them in half, and you're going to put the one on the right underneath the 2 strings, the one on the left on top of the 2 strings, and you're basically going to pull the raw ends through the opposite strings loop. It's really just that simple, and then pull tight, and then slide them up. And we're just going to repeat this a lot. What I like to do is alternate. That's my own personal preference. You don't have to alternate if you don't want to, but if you don't alternate, you risk the feather twisting a little bit more than alternating. And what I mean by alternating is the first one, the right string goes underneath the 2, we're going to call it the post. I don't know, I feel like in 6th grade I learned it was called the post. So you're going to take the first one will be the right loop goes underneath the post and the left one goes on top, and then the next one right underneath it, the left loop goes underneath the post and the right one goes on top. And you're going to do this for the entire length of how long you want your feather or leaf to be. Now, the reason we're calling it a feather or a leaf, because depending on how you trim this when it's all done, will determine the shape and the look that you want. I've actually cut mine into like a short fat feather or a wide-ish leaf. But I like the feather idea a little bit better because feathers aren't symmetrical. And if you're somebody who has trouble like making a heart even on both sides, I mean, leaves aren't always symmetrical either. So either way would work. But I do like the fact that if you cut one side a little bit narrower and the other side a little bit longer, you know, a lot of feathers do look like that. They do look asymmetrical. Okay? Now, I feel like this is super boho chic, but it also could be more like country sort of farmhousey sort of situation. The fact that you're using cotton twine. People take these, they make several of them, they hang them off branches, which looks beautiful as like a wall hanging. You can just use individually, obviously. You can do them with other string as well. I think it would be very interesting and fuzzy if you tried to do it in jute. I don't know that I have the patience to deal with jute. This one takes enough patience if you want to know the truth. But this project takes about 2 hours. It's definitely a put on a movie, and you know, watch the The Greatest Showman through just one time. Okay. So now after we have them all done, then we're going to go ahead and take the bottom 2 strings and we're going to knot them. Basically, we're doing an overhand knot to the left and then an overhand knot to the right, which is basically, you know, you're going to take the right hand string and put it over and through on the left side and the left hand string over and through on the right side. And now you take your comb. And this is where it's nice to have a movie. It's important to hold the center support, the center loops tight with your hand the best you can. And then you're just going to comb the strings. And what it's going to do is it's going to unravel them. I will tell you, it does take a little bit of practice, not too much, to get it the way you want. But you basically are untwisting all of this cotton string. Now, if you don't get the entire length untwisted, the whole bunches of separated strings will twist back up again. So you just want to continue to comb it until they lay nice and flat. All right. And I will tell you, I got a couple of snags, which is just normal. So expect to get snags if you do. And then a couple of times a snag would actually untether the piece of string, like basically unloop it from the other end where it was macrame. And all you have to do there is I stop, I find which piece is shorter because I've pulled it too long on one side, and I just pull it back. I believe one time in this whole project that I needed to actually re-loop something. So I just basically loosened both ends and I just fixed it, made it even again, and pulled it tight. Okay? And I will tell you that I like to brush or comb from the top loop, basically the first strings that I did, down to the bottom. However, will tell you that for me as a righty, going from left to right is better. Does that make sense? I definitely like going from the top to the bottom, so that the first time that I'm combing the one side, I have to go from right to left. But definitely when you are doing the other side, you see it works the other way. I'm sorry, I just stuttered. There was a tornado warning just came through on the push notifications. Sorry about that. Oh, it's tornado watch, so don't worry about it, guys. We're okay. But now you want to flip it over and you want to repeat on the other side. There are a few tutorials on this. This is something called a Fendi. No, it's not Fendi like the designer. Fendi or Fenty leaf, feather, or macrame. So there are different tutorials, and some people make them huge, like 3 feet long. And some people actually take pieces of coordinating felt and glue it to the back so it keeps that permanent felt shape. I like the fact that it's free. I like it's a free flow, and you'll see when I go to hang it, it does keep its shape. I don't know if it'll keep its shape forever over time if I don't glue it. I might have to recomb it from time to time, but that's the nature of that boho feel, that temporary permanence, So once it's all combed out, I also, as I'm telling you, we knotted the bottom, but the strings will tend to pull towards the bottom or the top depending on which way you're going. So you may have to adjust that over the time, but that's normal. That's meant to be, okay? Let me think. Am I forgetting anything else? Oh, you clean your comb from time to time. That was the last thing I wanted to tell you. When you get little strings and when you get little knots, those I told you I got caught up a couple of times. If you leave those in your comb, they tend to create more knots. So make sure you clean your comb from time to time as well. And you don't have to take it to the sink. You just make sure you pull the knots out, okay? Now that all of the strings are basically brushed out, all of the strings are unraveled, which you can see already. It just looks so pretty. It's very fluffy feeling. I want to go ahead and make sure all of my strings are laying on their correct side. So you basically you take your finger down the rib in the middle and make sure all strings are laying on the correct side. And now you just want to trim it to the shape that you want. You cut one side and the other. And you see as you pull it down, it does create more of a rounded top, more of a fuller leaf. And then I flip it over, comb the other side, and then you want to give it a little trim. Once you have it to the shape you want it, you want to comb out both sides and trim up both pieces. Now, again, some people really like that very, very sharp, clean edge, and some people like a very, very more free edge. So now I've taken it and after I've done all that pretty combing, I just shook the heck out of it to get all the little extra strings off. And then I laid it back down and recombed it. But I just think it's so pretty. It really is. I mean, even Mom liked it. And, she's not This isn't usually her cup of stuff, you know. So once you have it all you want it, and you trim out whatever you need, like I said, you can go ahead and glue it or mount it if you want to as well. But you can see here how the rib in the middle just looks so pretty, and it was so easy. And this is how it looks. Turn it over, and it almost looks like it's tangled on the back, which is very neat. So if you want to flip it over from time to time, you can. And here's how it looks hanging on the wall. I love this project. I sent a picture to Lisa because I'm definitely thinking she's getting this. If you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share with friends and family, anybody you know might be interested in doing a simple macrame project. And if you haven't yet, click subscribe, and when you do, a little bell will pop up. When you ring that bell, YouTube will let you know whenever I upload a new video. And I meant to tell you, you could probably make 5 or 6 for $1, because all you need is that one piece of cotton twine from the Dollar Tree. Okay, as always, you guys take care, God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye.